Hi, it's Tommy coming at you from beautiful Cape Cod. Actually, a very um, windy, rainy kind of day. Uh, December the 17th. And I wanted to come on. I'm not in my kitchen. I'm on my second floor. So it's Tommy, aka Nana. I am a woman living with osteoporosis. I'm a bright line eater, and I wanted to come on today to share something about how I'm navigating the holidays and going to parties and buffets and things like that, and would love to hear your input as well too on how you navigate these things. um, I have been doing bright line eating for over 1050 days. I reached my maintenance in September of 2021 and have, as I say to people, in that time I released 116 pounds, came back up a little bit, and settled at a weight loss of 106 pounds, maybe? No, 116. Yeah, maybe I lost more than that. Anyway, I uh, the more miraculous thing to me is not the weight loss as it is that I have been able to maintain that weight loss for more than a year now. I don't know exactly how long I've been in maintenance, but I started in September of 2021 and it's December, so a year and 3 months at least, going on 4. Um, anyway, uh, this is the way I eat and this is the way I live. And my husband just went for his physical yesterday. One of these days I'm going to try to bring Jim on. Jim uh, lost 80 pounds in about 8 months, men, um, and went back to the doctor for the first time since he lost all the weight, and had been given a high blood pressure diagnosis and was able to, within 2 to 3 months, stop taking blood pressure medication and correct his blood pressure, and is thinner than he ever has been, I think, in his adult life, and living happy, and yeah, and miraculously talks about bright line eating, and shares it with other people, and most of the time does not sway from the bright lines. So um, we went to, my husband works for the National Park Service, and for the Cape Cod National Seashore, and they had, for the first time in 3 years, their annual Christmas party, just 2 nights ago. Well, Thursday night. Today's Saturday. And it was a buffet, and then we were supposed to bring a dessert. So for the first time, instead of bringing something that was, normal that other people would eat, I brought a bowl of fruit, because we do have fruit at dinner, and I brought the pumpkin spice bake, the bright line eating pumpkin bake is what it's called. If you Google that in bright line eating community, you should be able to find it. And the difference is, this pumpkin bake is basically 6 ounces of banana, 6 ounces of pumpkin. So it's the fruit, vegetable. It's geared to be a lunch and weight loss lunch. And then it has an egg, and the recipe calls for an ounce of walnuts, and that's it. And it gets baked. I make it with 2 ounces of ricotta cheese, and I put in a bunch of pumpkin pie spices, so it is very reminiscent of a pumpkin pie. And I brought that, and I brought that as the dessert. And only 2 slices came out of the pumpkin bake. So we brought that home and we had that for dinner last night. But I brought the fruit, and so I wanted to talk about the 1 plate rule. So I said, I was doing the 1 plate rule when I went to this buffet, and we had the menu ahead of time, and I looked at it and I knew, it was a chicken dish with mushrooms, and the sauce probably had something in it, but I wasn't going to be crazy. It was really a thin sauce, so I don't even know that it had a thickener in it, but it was chicken breast with mushrooms, and then there was a salad that was very lightly dressed, and did not taste like it had any sweetener in it. So I went and I took 1 plate and put a bunch of salad on it, and then took that back to the table. Of course, always at buffets, there's this plates are smaller as well too. And I would not feel comfortable at a party holding up the buffet line with my scale. So I'm eyeballing it and, taking salad, took a bunch of salad on a plate, and then went back to the table and ate that. And then I went back with my same plate, and I got the chicken, asking for extra mushrooms. And then there was these beautiful roasted vegetables. There was parsnips, carrots, Brussels sprouts, maybe onion, and there were some potatoes in there. And I don't do a grain at dinner, although if I have a little grain at dinner, it's okay with me. But for the most part, I picked the potatoes out. And I served myself some chicken. Now, we were among the first people to eat, so there's a whole room full of, large room full of people that are still going to have to go through the buffet. And the piece of chicken was not adequate as far as enough protein, because I do 1.5 proteins at dinner on my maintenance. And I felt self-conscious about taking, a whole plate of vegetables when there were all these other people to eat. And so I took what would I consider, people a normal serving of vegetables. They had some other pasta dish that was something we weren't eating. And so I took that back and I ate it. And then I kind of watched the room, and then I went back and figured whatever I'd had was about half of what I needed to eat. And so I went back to get another piece of chicken with some mushrooms and took some more vegetables. And I could have taken more salad, but I am a winter want cooked vegetables type of person. So I took some more cooked vegetables and ate that. So that whole 1 plate thing, to me, that was what it was, because I was at a buffet, I felt less comfortable piling on all the food, and, you know, felt more comfortable because of how many people were there, going back after I knew everyone else had eaten. And so when I saw the servers starting to serve themselves, I figured everyone else had eaten. I'm going to go back and get some more. And then once I finished that, I went to the dessert table and took some of the fruit that I had brought. And surprisingly, I was so impressed with my husband because that table was covered with all kinds of things that he loves and would have normally eaten. And here he's just nearing his 1 year anniversary. He started Bright Line Eating a year ago between Christmas and New Year's. But he really knows that he wants to stay in this body that he's in now. And, you know, so he didn't take any of those things. So that's how I'm negotiating, you know, when you're at a party and you have a buffet, that, you know, I take a little bit less and then go back for more. I don't know if that will work for everybody. That worked for me. I feel I was bright. I don't feel like I ate in excess. You know, I went to the bar and got my club soda, you know, twice. I hated that I had to drink it in a paper cup, but I, you know, managed through. And you know, that's how I managed. Was even if I wanted to fill the plate, I wouldn't have probably been able to get enough without it kind of spilling over the edges. So going up twice, I don't know, maybe I'm too literal. So how are you getting through the holidays? How are you managing at parties? You know, I know somebody I know didn't have a success recently and came to the conclusion afterwards that, you know, if you don't know when you're going to eat, that it's probably better to eat beforehand and, you know, focus on other things when you're at the gatherings rather than the food and that kind of thing. So I highly recommend doing the Permission to Be Human action plan, or Permission to Be Human. You know, if you have a challenge in one of these situations and really going through it, find somebody to talk it out with. But you know, find ways to make it work for you. Going up twice or 3 times because I went for the salad and then whatever. I mean, I could have gone through once and carried 2 plates and but anyway, I felt more comfortable this way, and it worked for me. So I'd love to hear the ways that it works for you, and I invite you to please like, subscribe, share the video with friends, and I hope you have a bright day and continue to have a bright holiday.